In movie, they decide to forego protection, which
Not
fake
really,
Jason
because
doesn't
they already
care for
know
at
each
all.
other's
So
body.
he grabs a signpost and impales Deborah through the back, then yanks the pole upward and rips her in half. This only happens in the unrated version and is
Then he
probably
got shot
the single
again.
biggest difference between the two cuts.
Oh my
Brutal.
gosh.
I love this kill.
Oh.
Luke screams his bloody face off.
That's
The coroner
nasty.
Jason kills
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the KandaceHamilton Reacts channel. How's everybody's Friday going? Hope it's going great or have gone great. Well, whatever you did today, aim it corona. Anyway, you guys, I haven't uploaded the past few days because I have relocated to another room. You probably cannot tell, which is good if you cannot tell. But yes, I am relocating my room and it's still not done, so pray for me that it gets done. Anyway, you all want to see Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, 1993 kill count. We're gonna get into the
We tell
video.
the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James H.
I thought
and
that
we got a treat for you
1993
today.
would be
We're
better,
looking at
but
Jason Goes to Hell, the
I guess
final
not.
Friday, released in
Hopefully
1993,
the final
and a
Friday.
movie so ridiculous and different that I'm still not entirely sure how to feel
Never
about it.
mind.
Like I mentioned last episode, Paramount was done with Friday the 13th after
I was
Jason
about to
Takes
say,
Manhattan stumbled
hopefully
into
it was
the lowest
good,
box office take of
but
the
he
series.
said no,
New
it's
Line
ridiculous.
Cinema ended up with the rights and decided it was a good
Okay,
idea
I'm
to
quiet.
put a 23-year-old first-time director in charge of their very first
And
Jason.
you guys, I have
What
no
could go
idea
wrong?
what's wrong with my
Turns
editor,
out
why
a
he's
lot.
messing up in the
Looking
middle of
to
the
create a different
video.
kind of Friday
Like,
the 13th movie,
I don't
and
know.
Marcus largely succeeded in doing so, mostly because Jason's only in about 10 minutes of the movie. But
Ew.
instead of a copycat killer like Roy Burns, in this movie, Jason Voorhees is more like a disembodied evil spirit that can possess different people and use them as vessels of murder. It's exactly as absurd as it sounds, and on top of all that, the film tries to establish a mythology surrounding Voorhees' blood out of thin air. Quick note here, the Blu-ray box set, which is what I've been working from for this series, only has the R-rated version of this movie for some reason. Knowing how drastically different the kills were, I hunted down a DVD of the unrated version, and I'll be working from that. It's a little bit lower resolution, but it makes a world of difference because it has some of the best gore in the series. Like, we're talking some seriously gruesome kills.
I don't want
Speaking of
to
which, let's get to them already.
No, really.
The movie opens deceptively like any other Friday.
Crystal Lake.
Attractive woman,
I love this
albeit
little
one
music.
dressed like she belongs in Hey Arnold, goes to a cabin on Crystal Lake, gets naked, gets attacked by Jason. Great start. This is what we're all familiar with. Only something's a little off, and it's definitely not that gravity-defying towel. Nope. Turns out this woman leads Jason into a trap because she's actually an FBI agent who can do badass somersaults. What seems like the entire FBI then pops up out of bushes and drops down from trees to shoot Jason with every gun imaginable before finally blowing him to shittereens. Now, because his body gets so decimated here, I'm gonna count Jason as the film's first victim here, coming in at a cool 7 minutes in. Yes, I know his heart is still
But
beating.
it's not
I can
dead.
inflate my body counts if I want to. I'm the one doing all the damn work here. After the opening credits, which are intercut with the coroner's report, we dive headfirst into Crazy Town when Coroner Phil gets mesmerized by Jason's beating heart and promptly eats it like a savage dog. That's what happens when you don't have paid lunch breaks. It's a super
Ew.
nasty sequence, even nastier in the unrated version, and honestly, it's kind of amazing. Now,
That's
there's
what
some
people gonna be
dispute
starting
online when
doing
to count a death
come
for people
May
possessed by
and
Jason.
July.
Seems
This
like a
stuff
lot
ain't
of
over
people do it
with.
when he possesses them, but I'm gonna do it after he leaves their body because,
Need to
I
go.
don't know, that makes more sense to
I
me.
need to
Bite
go.
me. With that rule in place, our second victim is the assistant coroner, but only after he tells Jason how he really feels.
You know what
Why
I'd
do you
like
have
to
the
do?
body?
I'd like to take a crap
Why?
right on your fucking mask.
Fun fact, dude was played by the guy who wrote this movie, and faux Jason does to him what his screenplay does to storytelling. Absolutely butchers him. He smashes his face against a grate and stabs him through the neck with a probe
Ew.
thing. Like I said, guys, great.
This dude's
goal. Look at
psycho.
those pieces of face just jammed
Ew.
right in there. Tight.
Ah!
Jason, who, for whatever reason,
that's
is revealed
disgusting.
in reflections, like a reverse vampire or something, goes to leave but reveals how petty he is when he stops to kill a couple of security guards who talk shit about him.
This dude's possessed.
Wasn't nothing but a big old pussy anyway.
The cut to a crime show is pretty great, and even better is that the big security guard right there is Kane Hodder himself. I wonder how he feels about getting an off-screen death like that. Probably cries about it over all his Jason money. A douchey newscaster tells the world about these kills, and by the way, how do they have this footage of the assistant coroner? Like, when did they shoot that? And then he interviews Creighton Duke, a bounty hunter obsessed with Jason, and the best part of this movie.
And I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Jason Voorhees.
Well, that makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress, sticking a hot dog through a donut.
We'll get plenty more Duke, so don't you worry.
What?
Over at a diner near Crystal Lake that's treating Jason's death very respectfully, we meet waitress Diana and the rest of the staff, including fellow waitress
Is he
Vicky,
referencing them?
Joey, the brash owner, Joey's husband Shelby, who's played by Leslie Jordan, and their son Ward, who looks about as Midwestern as you can get. Duke tries to recruit Diana to help him hunt down Jason because, surprise, she's Jason's half-sister that's never been mentioned before. Then we meet Steven, who is the ex-lover and baby daddy of Diana's daughter, Jessica. Yep, got that right. And on his way to go meet Diana to find out some cryptic information, he stops and picks up some sexy hitchhikers who are headed to Crystal Lake now that Jason's dead. He drops them off without taking up Alexis's totally random offer for sex. Good thing he doesn't, because after giving the tent to her camping buddies for some porking in the woods, she winds up getting her face slashed a whole bunch of times with a scalpel by coroner guy Jason.
Wow.
Her body is later shown against a tree.
Ew.
In the tent, Debbie and Luke have what is
So you're trying to be the
definitely
next
most
Jason?
explicit sex scene
It's
of the
not gonna
series
happen.
so far. If you're
Watch,
watching
he's
the
probably gonna
unrated
get
version.
killed
Both
by
actors
Jason.
were actually naked for it, which may have been a little awkward since they had actually been a real-life couple just recently broken up. In movie, they decide to forego protection, which
Not
fake
really,
Jason
'cause
doesn't
they already
care for
know
at
each
all.
other's
So
body.
he grabs a signpost and impales Deborah through the back, then yanks the pole upward and rips her in half. This only happens in the unrated version, and is
They
probably
gotta
the
show it
single
again.
biggest difference between the two cuts.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love this kill.
Oh.
Luke screams his bloody face off.
That's
The coroner
nasty.
Jason kills him off screen. I guess his head gets crushed.
Yeah.
You kind of hear a crunch.
I probably,
But nothing's confirmed, so I can't say
I
for
probably
sure.
would have
Back at the
passed
restaurant,
out.
coroner Jason tracks down his sister and stalks her from the woods. For some reason, he lets her get away, instead opting to kill this chick Edna by slamming her head in a car door. It looks pretty bad when you freeze frame it like this, and you know what? That's not necessarily a fatal injury. In fact, it happened to me in high school. Just left a giant mark on my forehead for a week, that's
Dang.
all. Fake Jason kidnaps Josh the cop, and in a delightfully homoerotic scene,
What
bounds
is
into
that?
a table, shaves
This
his
dude
face,
is psycho.
and open-mouth kisses him. The kiss was to transfer Jason's soul to Josh's body, so with that, I'll count the coroner as being dead. I'm beginning to see the error of my ways
Jason's
here.
in
Not much to show
him.
right now when this spirit
Yeah.
transference thing happens off screen,
Don't.
but oh well. Diana talks to her daughter Jessica on the phone, who would
Jason's
be Jason's
in him. I'm
half-niece,
gonna
I
say-
think.
well, he's
Oh, and
possessed,
look,
like I
Jessica
said,
has a
he's
little baby
possessed.
Voorhees. Anywho, policeman Jason shows up and attacks Diana and almost slips her the tongue before Steven walks in and tackles him like a boss. Steven may look like a nerd, but he's actually kind of a badass, you'll see. Regardless, Diana gets a knife sharpener thrown into her back, and although Steven is able to impale cop Jason and throw him out a window, Diana still dies, telling Steven with her dying words to protect Jessica. I think the saddest thing here is that she died in her picnic blanket waitress uniform. Sheriff Ed shows up, and since police Jason's body
Yeah, this is
disappeared like
nasty.
Michael Myers, Steven is caught red-handed. He's taken to jail and locked up, reminding me of Tommy Jarvis in part
If
6.
only the
way back when
acting
these
was
movies
good. This
actually
could have
had
been a
Jason.
really, really, really
times.
good movie.
Steven's jailmate is Creighton Duke, who's all sorts of crazy, giving Steven exposition at the cost of breaking his fingers. Why? Because
Oh.
he's crazy. I just told you. What kind of information does a couple of broken fingers buy
Really?
you?
Those FBI idiots destroyed Jason's body, so now he needs a new one.
He's probably the
Once
best
nothing
actor in
another,
all the movies.
Jason needs to be reborn again. and
All the
just
movies.
do it.
Oh, so bullshit.
I can
Steven
tell.
accosts his
He was
buddy
probably
Officer
the
Randy and
best
breaks out of
actor.
jail to sneak into the diner of sensitivity.
What the fuck is that?
It's Jessica's baby.
Get it the fuck out. This is a restaurant, not a fucking nursery.
Where he sees his baby daughter before Ward shoos him away. Then he heads to the Voorhees house, which all of a sudden exists and is a thing.
Why would you
and
go
after
to the
looking
house?
through the Necronomicon, falls through some floorboards in the closet. From there, he witnesses douchebag anchor Robert Campbell get attacked by policeman Jason, who then totally French kisses him and
Ew.
transfers Jason's soul into his body. Officer Josh's body then just fucking melts,
Oh.
sticking to the floor and having his jaw come off.
That it's
Damn,
just gum,
that is some
y'all.
sweet,
It's just
sweet
gum.
Cronenberg-like body horror there, guys. Appreciate it.
disgusting.
It's good. And it's even extended in the unrated version. Great.
What are you
Oh yeah,
doing?
while watching this, Diana's body
Who
falls
takes
on
that long
Steven
to
and
die?
into the basement. That'll come back later. Anchor Jason gets up and leaves, heading to Jessica's house while she's having a good shower cry. Just let it all out, Jess. Anchor Jason tries
That
to
ain't
suck
no good
face, but
shower
Steven
head.
intervenes a second time and saves her. She doesn't believe him about all this Jason hooey though, so she pushes him out of the car and leaves him on the side of the road, running straight to Sheriff Ed at the police station, who sends Officer Randy out to arrest Steven. They wrestle around a bit like they're the best of friends and have a scene with some actually good banter.
Really?
Got a gun. Fuck that. I got a gun.
When Steven finds out Jessica's at the station, he turns himself in, but before they can make it back, Anchor Jason arrives and busts Officer Ryan's head against the locker, killing her with a move many nerds survived just fine in high school. So maybe up that recruiting process a little bit, huh? Steven shows up,
Sticking her
gives
in the
Officer
locker.
Randy the old hopping elbow, then shoots Anchor Jason a bunch of times against the wall. He and Jessica escape, leaving these poor cop bastards to deal
This
with
is
the
so
body.
bad.
Jason wakes up from his disco nap and crushes their heads together, killing them both. They never really stood a chance, but at least they got to die together. That's kind of
That-
nice.
that didn't-
Also,
that
Creighton
was not
clotheslines
go-
his way to freedom.
that was
Back at
not
the
strong
diner
enough
for
to
the
do all
caring and
that.
empathetic,
Don't move a fucking muscle. Either of you. Joey, I just want to...
Shut up! You're with him!
Steven and Jessica are just trying to get their baby, man, when fake Jason shows up and starts a wholesale massacre. First is Ward, who gets his hand broken at the wrist and his body thrown against the door. I feel like that's still a fixable injury, but you know what? Probably not any healthcare that Ward has, so sure, that's a kill. Then what follows is a ridiculous slow-motion shootout scene. It's slow motion
Oh
for
god,
so long,
these
you
are
think it was a
bad,
mistake.
man. These
But
are
really, just
bad.
remember, 23-year-old first-time director. Only in the unrated version do you get the next step, a random nameless patron who it looks
That's
like
not
was killed
doing
by
nothing,
straight
man.
buckshot from Vicky's shotgun. That's a real bummer, man. You go to your favorite dig for a cup of coffee and get shot by the waitress. Fake Jason ignores Vicky for now, opting instead to kill Shelby next. He grabs his head and straight up deep fries him, extra crispy,
Ooh.
eventually tossing his body onto the grill. He died as he lived, grilling meat. Anchor Jason takes care of Joey with a single elbow to the mouth, bashing her face in. And I'm sorry, that makeup effect is weird and confusing. I don't like it.
It
Looks like she has
kinda
a
is.
golf ball in her mouth. Vicky continues to be a badass, shooting fake Jason with her shotgun and jabbing him with a metal rod. But she gets too close, and fake Jason pulls her onto the pipe, impaling her
Ew.
through the gut and making her spit up blood in
Okay.
the unrated version. He then
That's
pops
so
her head like a
fake
pimple. Lots of blood
blood.
there.
It
Great
looks
kill.
like
And hey, she went
candy.
out with a fun little quip.
Go to hell.
Fake
It looks
Jason
like
passes
candy,
out
like you
a
just
freshman after
gushing-
his first frat party, and
gush your
Jessica runs
juice out of
away,
your
headed
mouth.
to the Voorhees house alone to get her baby, just like the nice note told her to. The writer of the note was noted crazy man Creighton Duke, who's probably not the first guy you'd want to call to be your babysitter. He gives her the whole breakdown. Jason's spirit possesses people, and he can only
better
be
go,
fully
my
reborn
baby.
or ultimately killed by another Voorhees. In other words, give that baby a dagger. Just kidding. He gives Jessica the dagger, which turns into a magical Power Ranger sword, and then he falls through those shitty-ass floorboards, injuring his leg in the process. Back at the
Ooh.
diner, a first-person point-of-view shot checks out all the bodies before getting ambushed by Anchor Jason, who then transfers his soul off-screen, giving us the death of Robert Campbell and just, like, really reiterating to me how flawed this kill-counting method is. I'm sorry. At the Voorhees house, Sheriff Ed shows up acting a little crazy, and then Officer Randy shows up acting a little less crazy, and Jessica can't trust either of them, even though both of them are acting way less crazy than anyone else possessed by Jason thus far. Ed ends up stabbing himself on Jessica's dagger, like something out of Cell Block Tango, which is the first time
So
I've
this
seen a
whole
police
movie's about
officer do a
Jason,
suicide by
about
cop. Then this
people
movie's like,
being
fuck
possessed by
continuity,
Jason and
reveals that
doing
the
all the
normal
killing
acting
instead of
Randy
Jason,
actually
'cause he
is
blew
possessed
up.
by Jason. He grabs the baby and prepares to get weird with it, but
Oh,
Steven shows up
you
to knock
guys.
that shit off for the third time, stopping him with a machete slice
The-
to the
the,
neck. Officer
black
Randy
dude
is
got
ultimately
possessed 'cause he
killed
ate
when
the
this
heart.
fucking spawn from your worst fucking nightmares crawls out of his fucking neck. Jesus, that thing's
Ew.
nasty. What is that, Jason?
What is
Jason?
that?
The fuck? Whatever it is, it crawls around
Oh
and
my
plays hide and
God.
seek and hops onto Steven's face
Ew.
before he throws it in the basement, where it eventually enters Diana's
This
corpse
is so
via very
disturbing.
unsavory means.
What? Ah!
Since Diana is a
Really?
Voorhees, and since the movie tells us this little tidbit now,
That part about being reborn through a Voorhees woman doesn't have to be a living woman.
Jason gets resurrected
Aw,
in
that's
full-on Jason
disgusting,
form,
man.
hockey mask and everything.
Oh, so
He
now
kills
he
Creighton
back.
Duke with a big old bear hug. Unrated version has some blood spit up, but it's still a lame way to go for one of the absolute coolest and most memorable characters in the entire franchise.
For real.
Rest in
Didn't I
peace,
just
Creighton.
say that? He
Steven,
was the best
continually
freaking
the badass,
actor out of the
tackles
whole
Jason through a
thing.
window and engages in a fight that would have killed most people in the series, distracting Jason long enough for Jessica to find her Power Ranger dagger and stab Jason in the chest. His soul, like, erupts from his body, looking like a bunch of Roman candles popping off into the sky. A falcon kick seals the deal, causing, like, a bunch of different colored lights to go from the sky back into Jason? I don't know. What's going on here? Then a bunch of those hands from Labyrinth pop up and pull him underground. And with that, I'll count Jason once again on the kill count.
Goes
But don't
to
worry,
hell.
Jason. It's only forever. Not long at all. With Jason taken care of, the movie literally ends with our heroes walking off into the sunrise together. Because, once more, first time 23-year-old director. Oh, except for one more thing. Freddy fucking Krueger's glove pops up and drags
What?
Jason's mask to hell. Yeah, boy! Too bad audiences would have to wait a decade to see their matchup finally come to fruition. In the meantime, we've got this
Wow.
mess to deal with, so let's do those numbers.
Freddy versus Jason. The
This
numbers.
one's kind of difficult to quantify, what with the possessions and the different versions, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that 24 kills happened, including Jason himself twice. 7 of the victims were girls and 17 of them guys, a pretty damn imbalanced gender ratio. The unrated version runs 90 minutes long, so that's a kill on average every 3.75 minutes, making this the entry with the most frequent kills in the series so far. Golden Chainsaw is a bit tough here, given all the awesome kills. I'll give out 2. For the R-rated version, I'll hand it to Josh's body, which
Yeah.
melts him to the floor and leaves its jaw
It's
behind.
just
I absolutely
dumb.
love that
It's
shit, and I'm
just
shocked that was in the
dumb,
R-rated
y'all.
cut. The unrated
It's
version, though,
just
has
dumb.
Deborah split
Bro.
in half situation that may just be the
Bro.
coolest kill of the whole series. Conversely, Doll Machete will go to Deborah's lover Luke, since it's done entirely off screen. And that's it.
I
At least in
would've passed out.
1993,
I
written
don't
in
care
just
if I'm
4
dead.
days,
I
no
would've
joke,
passed out.
and directed
Seeing
and
her
crewed by a bunch of
split
kids
like
who
that?
weren't even
No.
old enough to run for Congress. Jason Goes to Hell is a very divisive movie. So divisive, in fact, that I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about it. But I think I don't like it. I want to give a shout out to Bloody Disgusting for their continual promotion of my videos. Thanks so much, guys. I wouldn't have my audience without you.
Alright, you guys. Yeah, that one was disturbing. That was the most disturbing one. I've never turned my head so much in all the other ones. This one, yeah, no. That it's probably gonna be the beginning cut. When the girl is getting ripped through. I already know it. I'm gonna find it and it's gonna be in the beginning cut. That one was the best one. That one's probably the best acting one. Even the acting may be a little better in that one. I would probably watch that one, Jason Goes to Hell. How many of y'all already watched that movie? Ooh, that was brutal. That was disgusting. Alright, you guys. If you guys like that video, give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. Push that bell to be notified when the next video drops. You guys, hopefully this video does not mess up. It is a little bit longer video. I'm still working on my editor, this new editor I got, so just bear with it, okay, you guys? Bear with it. At 500 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway cash, baby. So subscribe, get me to 500 subscribers, and I will show my appreciation for you guys. And I love you guys. Always stay safe, be careful, wash your hands, stay at home if possible. I know you can, because I showed it. I can't stay at home like that, but I'm gonna try to. Alright, this has been Miss Completion, and I'm out of here.